Previous vaccine is sick and is with Burley Steven Purvey by Burley Steven Purvey. Like the link to the video will be the description below. Go and check them out. So let's into this vaccine in 3, 2, 1.
What's going on? I'm Bradley Stephen Perry. I've never done anything like this before, but I figured I'd try it out. I recently started posting on Instagram about the food I make, and weirdly, people seem to want to see more of it and wanted to see videos on how I do it, what I make often, and I figured I'd show you guys. So today I'm going to do my take on steak and eggs. It's something I eat all the time for breakfast, for dinner. It's a good source of protein if you're into that. We have a nice ribeye. I'm going to show you guys how to make it. Okay, so first we're going to start off by seasoning the steak. I think that's the most important part of making steak.
Yep.
Make it properly seasoned with everything you want on it. I usually just do traditional salt, pepper, onion, garlic. Nothing crazy. Kind of the simplest way to do it, especially with like a fatty steak like a ribeye. I don't think you need to do much on it. But make sure you marinate both sides, season it well. In the pan it goes. For the meat, medium heat, a little bit of butter. I like to put the butter in there. It helps get that like crust on the steak. So I've already put the butter in there. Normally with steak, you want to wait for the pan to get hot and then put it in. It helps get that crust. But ribeye, super fatty piece right here. So I'm going to start the steak on its side like this and let it get hot while the steak's on its side. And that helps render down the fat and it takes out a lot of that shit that you don't like. Let that sit for a little bit. Yeah, so now you can start to hear that the fat's starting to render down a little bit. A lot of people like a really fatty steak. I don't personally love a fatty steak, but. So now I'm just gonna put it back. It's gonna go down, make sure it's going. 2 minutes on this side, 2 minutes on the other side. But while we're doing this, a little bit of rosemary, add each to both sides. Time's the best.
Yeah.
Time starts to make it sizzle. Sounds good. And then a bunch of garlic. Throw it in there. Let it cook. And then, because nobody ever claimed this was healthy, you put more butter in there. The super important part of cooking a steak to me is basting. You want to get all that butter in there. Lather that thing up and let it cook. It'll help that crust. So now it should have cooked. So you can see it's starting to get that crust. It's the best part. So now, what I do is I throw the rosemary, the thyme, all the garlic, put it back on top, add more butter, because of course, let that butter melt, and then you baste a lot of it. You get that steak juice, you get the butter, you get the thyme, you get the garlic, everything. Take it off, let that get in the butter as well. Takes a little more. Let that cook for 2 minutes again. So now what I like to do too, I love truffle. So you take a little bit of the truffle oil, put a dab of that in the butter. See, a lot of people like to they'll like coat the steak with the truffle oil. You can't do that because that's what makes it burn. If you put it in the butter, then you just get like that hint of truffle. It's like ASMR. Let's check this bad boy. Oh yeah. Now it's starting to get that great crust. Come back down. Put this all back on top. Now the most important part, throw it in the oven, 2 minutes. And we have a fire. So now that the steak is in the oven, we got a couple minutes before that's done cooking, and I'm gonna get started on the eggs. Really simple, nothing crazy, just 4 eggs, because I'm hungry, and Miles, the guy working the camera, apparently is also. I base my scrambled eggs off of Gordon Ramsay's egg technique, and he always says to start the eggs in a cold pan instead of on the hot pan. Frankly, I couldn't tell you why, but I've religiously done that. 2 little slabs of butter in there. On the heat we go. So that eggs, you gotta get it all whisked up there. Gordon Ramsay's like technique to this. This is just a walking Gordon Ramsay ad at this point, I guess. 60 seconds on the heat with movement, and then 30 seconds off the heat, movement, back on, off, and it's just over and over and over again. It's kind of a pain in the ass, but as long as you just keep these things moving, that'll give you like that nice like fluffy egg. You know when you go to like a nice hotel or something like that and you have like their breakfast in the morning, it's like so good and the eggs are so fluffy. Yeah. I think that's what this is. As soon as I start to see it like start to thicken up a little bit off the heat, just constantly moving these things. And on the heat. See, it's already starting to like, look at it, it's getting all fluffed up. Burnt eggs, it happens so quickly. As soon as you like step away from it, it starts to get all thick and crunchy. Nobody wants that. I'm gonna go off the heat again, keep it moving. Now I'm gonna turn off the heat because these things are cooked already. All right, now you let that sit there for a sec. So a big trick with eggs too that helps, I think you can do it with like creme fraiche, but I do it with sour cream. It sounds weird. You put like a dollop of sour cream in there. Stir that bad boy up. Keeps it from cooking too much and it gives it like that creamy flavor. I love the oniony taste. So you just do a little bit of onion powder and salt. Mix all that up. So fluffy. Perfect amount of time for our steak to come out. Do a little finger test. Nice and cooked. Yeah. That's looking real nice. Steak is out. Big part of cooking steak though, obviously, is letting this bad boy rest. Just transfer it over here. But I like to take the rosemary, the garlic, the thyme, that's all cooked now. Throw that in there. Take this. As long as you have a tray that can handle it, dump all them juices over it.
It sounds look good. Yeah.
We let that rest for a few minutes, and then in that meantime, I like my food to look good, you know? And I think that's an important part. It's like
I think anybody wants the food to look good.
I have this little cylinder that I use. There we go. You got a little egg tower formed in there. Then you're gonna take chopped chives, dump them on top. It's alright if it gets on the plate too. Maybe I watch too much MasterChef, but it gives it like a nice little pop of color, you know, and that's such an important part of it. Cut off the fat right there. Yeah.
Too much stuff.
I'd say probably medium. If you're making this for breakfast, you're probably gonna want to chop off all that fat. Something about eating that kind of fat in the morning doesn't sound nice. I'm gonna take this.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna place it right here. When I think of breakfast, you know, I think of that sweet, savory taste. And I think the nice thing about the steak and eggs is it kind of gives you both. But you also think of like pancakes or waffles or something like that.
Pancakes,
and then I try to take like a steak sauce that you could have for dinner, but it would also kind of give you that breakfasty input. So what I made was it's a blackberry lemon reduced sauce. It's really simple. All you do is just put blackberries, some lemon juice, sugar, and cornstarch in a pan with a half a cup of water. Let it boil. It gets real thick. And then you're just gonna take all that goodness, put it on top.
It look good.
Reveal our eggs. Do that. Last but not least, Miles likes spicy food. I like spicy food. We're gonna use this Yellowbird Blue Agave Sriracha. Just right across the top. There you have it, people. A beautiful steak and eggs for breakfast.
Let's see, the second is a nice, a nice 9.5 out of 10. Yeah, it look good. Yep. I give it a 9.5 out of 10. Yep.
And or dinner. However you like it. Yeah, and last thing, this video will not end on either one of us taking a bite of it. I think that is a weird thing that they do on social media. I don't need you to see me going, So you can just imagine that for yourself. Thank you.
There was second is with Barely Steven Purry by Barely Steven Purry. The link to the video will be in the description below. Go and check them out. And like if you like, and comment down below if you want to see more reactions like this one. And subscribe if you're new. And click the bell to be notified when I upload in my